Hello! My name is Bubs, I'm an artist, and I like to hear myself talk, and today I'd like to hear myself talk about something very special that I'm very excited about, and that something is you all. You're all something special. For those that don't know, about a month ago I issued you all a bit of a challenge. I gave you a prompt and told you to come up with a character based on that prompt, make some art, and send it my way to look at and love and talk about for a fun video. The prompt went as follows. This resourceful person makes a living off of finding and selling junk. They are very hardworking and ambitious. Due to their status as a salesperson, they have a very charming persona, but they have a very different personality behind the scenes. They also have an unorthodox fashion sense. I tried really hard to come up with something that was specific enough to keep everyone within a theme and offer a bit of a challenge, but still vague enough that it could be interpreted in a lot of different ways, and boy, did you all deliver. Despite some unforeseen complications with the whole sending it my way part, I had so much fun seeing how many different directions people took the prompt and seeing all these different art styles, and I can't wait to show off some of my favorites. And now that we're not too far off from 50k subs, which is insane, I felt that it was an appropriate time to celebrate this community that I am so honored to have fostered. For the formatting of the video, I'm going to treat this as a sort of award ceremony because that makes sense in my brain. This way, I don't need to dedicate as much time to explaining why I like each individual one, and therefore I can highlight more people. It also allows me to come up with some fun transition titles, so why not, right? Just a heads up though, I got quite a few responses in the 2 weeks I gave to get it done. Somewhere around 100, which is awesome, but unfortunately that means that I'm not able to go over every single one in detail as much as I really would like to. Unfortunately, my laptop probably couldn't handle the scripting and editing for a 5-hour-long video, so I really had to pick and choose. A process that was genuinely agonizing because there were so many I felt really compelled to add. There was also a lot of issues of just not being able to see some submissions. It is not a secret that this whole thing broke down fast due to my own ineptitude. Curse you, urge to act on spontaneous ideas without thinking if it's the best possible execution. Anyways, my point is, while I know I said this was going to be the case ahead of time, and while I did urge you to only participate if you wanted to make the character and not just to get into the video because it wasn't a guaranteed thing, I still feel pretty bad that I can't just talk about and show off all of you. Please just know that if your submission doesn't get a feature, that doesn't mean I thought it was bad. I loved all of the art I saw, and I liked reading about how many different cool ideas you all came up with. It's just, I got a lot, and some I didn't even get to really see, so you should all be proud of yourself for taking on a prompt challenge, because those can be tricky. And if it helps you, feel free to imagine a scenario where the internet intentionally hid your design from me because they knew that it was just so good that I would perish from awe if I saw it, and that's why it's not in the video. I jest, but it is entirely possible a lot more people would have caught my eye if I was better at technology. I'm very salty about it. Anyways, genuinely, thank you all for participating. I hope you had fun, and if you watching right now didn't participate and wish you could have, not to worry. I'd love to do this thing again somewhere down the road, though maybe better organized. To continue this intro, because I am allergic to having short ones, I have 2 more little notes. First, I really hope it isn't necessary to say this, but in case it is, if you think you have some sort of critique or otherwise negative-leaning comment you want to share about the submitted art you see in this video, do not do that. Seriously though, don't. Even if your intentions are pure, and I'd like to assume they are, this video is a happy celebration of this community's creativity and hard work. No one likes critique they didn't ask for, even if it is helpful, and it is not the time and place for it. So let's just not do that. This is not a circus, at least not until my next upload, so I do not want to see any clown behavior in my comment section. Understood? Good. On to that second thing now. I also made a character for this. I came up with them according to the prompt, but designed them before I released it publicly because I didn't want my design to be influenced by anything I saw other people do. I figured that would be the most authentic way for me to participate in this challenge with you all, even if I made the challenge. So this is Rusty. I actually wrote a lot of backstory for them to match my prompt that I really ended up liking, so who knows, maybe this could be an interesting story to explore in the future. But regardless, as I said before, this video is about you. I don't want to talk about their really long backstory because it's very long. My point in showing my design is simply to give another point of perspective and how a bunch of different artists can go so many different directions even when in the same community. But I'm much more excited about what you guys made, so let's just get into the first design I wanted to highlight. Everyone's links from here on out will be in the description, by the way. First, I'll give out awards for most unique submissions. First on this list, I shall present to you this glorious beast named the Slug, coming to us courtesy of Spooky. This magnificent critter sells old pizza to people, and frankly, depending on how old it is, I'd probably buy it. Pizza's pizza, man. Not much else is known about the Slug, and you know what? I admire the simplicity. It's just a thingy with some pizza, and that's all you need to know. I love this strange being creature and its sweet little smile with all my heart, and I got nothing else even sort of like this, so it deserves a uniqueness award 100%. The Slug is special. The Slug is not something easily replicated, and I would like to formally begin a cult around the Slug. We shall eat lots of leftover pizza, and also, in honor of the Slug, you all can give me lots of money. Oh, who said that? Not me. Anyways, thank you, Spooky, for the Slug. Next, I just have to show this one. We have Uriel Gonzalez's Benter, who is a spacefaring avian creature who sells scrap for a living and collects artifacts from the past for the passion. For the keen observer, you may notice that this submission was made in Spore, and while that was not on my bingo card, so to speak, I did say you could use any medium you wanted to, and you clearly took full advantage of this. For real though, I think this is a fantastic example of how one idea can be interpreted in a bunch of different ways, because my brain would never have gone here, but I am so very glad yours did. Thank you, Uriel Gonzalez, for Benter. All hail Benter, the scrap vendor bird alien. I guess I'm also starting a cult for Benter. I'm just starting a lot of cults today. Another submission from the Google form. Here's Able Dig with their creation, Chet. Chet here is an ex-pilot who had his license revoked for reckless flying, so we know he's a very responsible individual. And he now makes a living as a junk salesman, mostly to fund his repair attempts on a wrecked plane. I just love the pixel art style here, and I didn't really get any other submissions that looked like this. Which, now that I'm seeing it, I'm kind of bummed about. It feels very retro indie horror game-esque to me, if that makes sense, in a very good way. And I can totally imagine Chet here being the protagonist of one of those games where it's a horror atmosphere, but there's still a lot of humor in it. Thank you for introducing us to this silly old man, Able Dig. Second to last for this section, we have Detritus by Emily. Detritus lives in a world of robots where scrap and spare parts are a hot commodity, so he set up a shop in a scrapyard and sells overpriced wares. He swindles buyers by, quote-unquote, lowering the price for them only to slightly overpriced. Got that car salesman vibe, love that. Anyways, Detritus gets to feature as a most unique character because, oddly enough, I am pretty sure Detritus is the only object head I got, which is kind of unexpected. But even if I have forgotten about another one, Detritus is also part of a larger concept for a video game, as may be evident by the art, and frankly, that's really cool and also something I didn't get to see. So, yeah. I also just like the name Detritus, it's very fun. Thank you, Emily, for Detritus. Last for this section, but not least, I'd like to show you all Rosamine's Sonic OC rat named Duncan. Duncan was a scrappy little orphan who lived on the streets until he was taken in by a nice old repairman who taught him his trade. He now makes a living out of finding abandoned things, fixing them up, and selling them off for some tasty moolah. So, Duncan obviously gets a feature for most unique because he's a Sonic OC, and no one else was brave enough to give me a Sonic OC. This brings me so much joy, for real though. I love Sonic, I love rats, and I love steampunk, and so naturally I love Duncan. You did such a great job. Thank you to Rosamine for Duncan. The next award ceremony is dedicated to Most Interesting Fashion. First to receive this award is Nixie by JÄuroriz. Nixie here is a tinkerer who, until very recently, lived in a junkyard where she would source materials for her tinkering. Unfortunately, they were framed for a murder they did not commit, and now she's desperate to solve the case of who really done it. While lots of people did the thing that I was secretly hoping they would do in creating outfits that are comprised of a bunch of different scrap fabrics and materials, Nixie scratches the itch of delivering the colorful chaos aspect that most folks were more restrained in. Something about the random grab bag of colors feels a little more authentic in a way, as if Nixie is literally just using whatever they can acquire. The mismatched shoes are also great for that same reason. And, of course, there is the pièce de résistance, the scrap-built gas mask. I am obsessed. JÄuroriz, thank you so much for bringing Nixie to the world, and also thank you for including a pronunciation guide for your name in your submission. I'm gonna look really stupid if I still messed it up. Maybe I shouldn't admit that you put... It's too late now. Switching up a bit, let's look at a little animal guy. This is Trevor the Mouse by Atlas. Trevor is, of course, a little junkyard mouse who likes to craft things out of the garbage around to sell to other little animal friends. This one made me so happy because I used to also have a similar mouse character when I was really young that I imagined to have a tiny house and other tiny things made out of foraged human junk that worked as proportionally sized items because it was a tiny mouse. The bottle cap hat, the little soda tab sandals, the little yarn necktie, it's just so good. It's so good for this prompt, it's so good for this character, and it's so cute. I love Trevor so very much, so thank you to Atlas. Next, we've got Sedge the Scavenger by Mossy. Sedge here spends most of his time trying to find treasures in trash heaps before selling them off to any buyer he can swindle, his fancy goggles hiding his contempt for many of them. Aside from my very significant adoration of Mossy's art style and color choices, they made my junkyard fashion wishes come true and then some. The broken pipes being used to adorn the dreads, the gear goggles, the keys on the pants chain, the asymmetry, the boots. I love boots. These are good boots. They're so shapy and chunky. Oh, it's so good. Thank you so much to Mossy for Sedge. Another entry for this award is Dragons Are Cool's Morgan. Morgan is a magpie-loving junk scavenger that makes a living upcycling garbage into stuff neat enough to sell. She's rather introverted, something not displayed when she is doing business, and prefers to spend most of her time with the birds. Now, look at this little lady. Her fit has so many cute little baubles that bring me such joy, especially the little band-aid that I have to imagine she's using to patch a hole in her cloak. That would be super gross to see in real life, but it's a character design and she's a little garbage lady, so it works. It's something I don't think a lot of other people would have thought of this, so I really like that you did. I also adore her hair and the little white streaks on either side of her face. For some reason, that, along with her general silhouette, reminds me a lot of a fuzzy moth. I'm not sure why, but I know that I love it, and I know that I must say thank you to Dragons Are Cool for Morgan. Our final winner of Most Interesting Fashion goes to Monty Mole's Joe Scumblish. Aside from being an absolutely stellar-shaped critter with a hilarious surname, Joe is a little scammer who likes to sell literal garbage to people. Is it really that bad if people buy it? Okay, but on the real, the fit is just giving me life. It reminds me a lot of my boy Al Calavici from Quantum Leap, where he is just unapologetically eccentric with his fashion choices, and it seems like he's happy with the look as long as it is loud. Does it need to go together? Hell no, but everyone will look at me. The leopard print pants are just amazing, and despite how nonsensical the outfit is, you make the colors go together pretty well somehow, so thank you to Monty Mole for Joe. The next award is just for one person, but I wanted to talk about this one, so the category is what I will call Most Interesting Feature. Take a look here at Lynch, created by the lovely Elfish. Now, aside from being a thick non-binary goblin who likes to read and collect little shiny things, and who I want to kiss, Lynch has something very neat about them. See, they were born with only one eye, and Lynch here decided a good replacement for it was to screw a light bulb into the empty socket. It is functional and allows her to basically have a built-in headlamp, and frankly, that's just such a cool idea and works really well for a collector type. It would be very helpful for finding the shiny things. Thank you so much to Elfish for Lynch. The next award ceremony, also for just one entry, is for Funniest Lore. Here we have Demo Nix Pochato. Really fun to say that name right there. Anyways, Pochato is a raccoon turned human. I can't say raccoon. I can't. People are gonna make fun of me. Let me try that again. Okay. Anyways, Pochato is a raccoon turned human. There is no given explanation as to why this happened, but for comedy reasons, this is probably better. Pochato continues living the raccoon lifestyle even as a human. You know, eating out of trash cans, stealing random things, being a feral beast. There's also a note here about how Pochato might be rabid, but you know what? I don't buy that. Because look, in all the drawings they're holding a water, and one of the chief symptoms of rabies is hydrophobia, so I trust Pochato and will not go to the doctor to get this bite checked out. The idea of randomly giving a raccoon a human body but not necessarily human sensibilities is just hilarious and endearing to me, and bonus points for the implication that there is such thing as a raccoon hive mind. Thank you, Demonic, for Pochato. The next award ceremony, our last single winner category, shall be called Most Fun Utilization of the Prompt. Here we have the lovely Brianna from Amir Makes Stuff. Brianna here is a diver in a small town that makes a decent living in her shop, all through selling little goodies she's able to bring up from the water. She's very cute, as you can see. I'd probably give her a head pat. However, the reason she is in this particular category is because I cropped the image. Brianna here is actually a deadly, terrifying siren, with actually a pretty sick siren design tang. She prefers to live as a normal human, but she cannot escape her twisted nature. Moo-hoo-hoo. Anyways, I just absolutely love how this takes advantage of the kind of two-sided aspect of the prompt. I included that little line in the prompt about how they have a salesman persona that is different from who they are behind closed doors, with the mindset that we get some sleaze scammer types in the chat, which we really did. But this idea, this extreme version of the double-sided nature, is so cool. Thank you again to Amir Makes Stuff for Brianna. Or thank you for the first time. I don't think I said thank you. The next award ceremony shall be dedicated to Most Gumptious Submitters. Why are they gumptious? It's because they made whole-ass videos. This is so cool, and I'm so excited. Okay. First in this category, I would like to introduce Avani Azalea by Crayon. I want to just get this out of the way before I talk about the actual design. This is the cutest little avatar. The crayon hat is just so cute, and I love it greatly. Anyways, Avani here is a silly little person in a fantasy world where magic is abundant, with Avani learning some in order to transform random garbage into special little trinkets in addition to healing innocent woodland creatures. Unfortunately, in their world, magic is considered a no-no, and they must keep things under wraps a bit so as not to get burned at the stake. A person who is secretly a witch because if it were to be found out, they'd be burned at the stake. That sounds familiar to me, but I can't quite figure out why. I'm sure I'll remember why later. Anyways, I absolutely love how the witch detail utilizes the prompt. The sort of two-sided nature thing, again. And I love the outfit Avani has on. The shapes, the details, the colors, ugh. I love a good drapey fantasy fit. Also, I am not sure if this was your intention behind the two outfits there, but I did kind of read the two versions as a slightly more masculine outfit and a slightly more feminine outfit, and I absolutely love that kind of thing for non-binary characters. So, thank you so much to Crayon for Avani.
Also, the thing about Mina was a joke. I am absolutely not trying to imply you stole my idea. It's not like I came up with it in the first place. I stole it from the Spanish Inquisition, and they stole that from Babylonia. So don't even worry. I really like your character. It was a joke. Thank you.
Next, we have Ponchi from Aster. Ponchi here is the leader of a band of street rats, affectionate, who all try to piece together the money for a house in a beautiful found family situation. By selling junk, of course. I am always a sucker for the found family trope. Anyways, I would absolutely love to tell you more about Ponchi, but alas, Aster already does it way better than I ever could, so how about you just go watch their video for more information after this, huh? And crayons too. Links will be in the description, like everybody else. Anywho, what I like about Ponchi. Many things, but specifically the hair, the gigantic backpack, the pants, they're so baggy. Baggy pants are the best pants, at least to draw, and I will hear no arguments. It just looks exactly how I would imagine a scrappy street kid that sells Garbaggio to look, and I don't know. He's just neat, and I like him a lot, so thank you to Aster for delivering Ponchi. Quick pause, though, to speak directly to the lovelies that made these videos. You both said things during your videos along the lines of, "This is so bad, please don't be too critical, I know this isn't great." Don't do that. Seriously, you did such a cool thing, and just because it isn't perfect doesn't mean it's bad. Frankly, it's even cooler that you weren't super confident doing it because you did it anyway, and that is hard. You don't have to make excuses for doing something difficult and not having it turn out perfect on the first try. My first video on this channel is rough compared to even this one, and I'm still not perfect. So, be nice to yourself, pat yourself on the back for your gumption, and keep creating. I know I'll have my eye out if you do create more. No pressure, of course, if you don't want to make more, but yeah, you did great. You should be super proud that you took a leap, and if you're not, change that. It's in order, soldiers. Okay, we are now on the final award ceremony, which shall be simply titled Most Favorite Scrimblos. These are simply the characters you all made that somehow perfectly cater to my sensibilities to the extent that I almost drew fan art for them, before remembering I still have to finish art for Idiot Squad Part 2, finish up the last bit of that script, start outlines for about 3 other scripts, thumbnail the next chapter of Girl and Ghost, make a bunch of YouTube thumbnails. Yeah, you get the picture. Maybe I still will later if my schedule mellows out a bit, but anyways, in the meantime, most favorite Scrimblos. The first character to earn this prestigious title is Try again. The first character to earn this prestigious title is Depivis. Oh my god. Depivis? Depivis. 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 Okay. The first character to earn this prestigious title is Depivis's. God, your name is so hard for me to say. Anyways, this is Malda. This funky little guy is a self-built salesman that collects goodies from long-abandoned human junkyards. Sort of a Wall-E situation, we love, and also builds his very own robo-companions, including a little robo-dog named Jackpot. First question, how did you know I am secretly obsessed with charming robots, especially junker robots? And second question, can you please deliver more charming robots? Please respond within 3 to 5 business days. Jokes aside, come on, what's not to love about a silly robot who builds robot friends and wears silly hats? I especially appreciate that this silly robot is humanoid, but is not a straight-up android, nor is he as humanoid as other robots, like the robots from Robots. Robots. Writing is a passion of mine, you know. Anyways, my point is, he's kind of non-standard in terms of appearance, which makes him way more appealing to me personally. I also am so glad that our artist here has given us a couple different doodles, so we can get a really good sense for his personality through visuals alone. It's extra work that wasn't necessary, but still helps to make this little guy feel more alive, and damn it, I would watch a show all about this little guy wandering around and making little friends out of garbage. Thank you very much for Malda D. Your name is D now. I can't I'm sorry. I'm trying to be respectful, but I can't fucking say that name. I'm so sorry, but thank you. You're doing it. You're doing a great job. It's on the screen. That's the name. Next up, we have Jimmy Junker Jameson by Mans Desponds. Jimmy here is a balding middle-aged man with an epic roster of epic ties. He apparently has very little going for him at the moment and feels super insecure about a bunch of things, especially the fact that he is balding, which I am probably not helping by starting out describing him with the words balding middle-aged man. It also probably did not help that in my master list of characters I labeled him as Bald Jimmy. Now, I cannot quite explain to you why this is the case, but something about comedically pathetic middle-aged men appeal to me greatly in the world of fiction. Bonus points if it is a comedically pathetic queer middle-aged man. I admit that the bi flag tie won Jimmy many bonus points. I'm biased towards my people, what can I say? No, but he just exudes such a frantic and desperate energy that I find endearing, and I would absolutely read a little comic series about him learning to love himself. I still really want to draw fan art of him, and out of everybody, he's honestly probably most likely to get it even now, so thank you so much to Mans Desponds for giving me a new weak baby man to obsess over. Speaking of types of guys who just so happen to scratch my brain, it is my pleasure to introduce Moth's Vince Trashman. Vince was an inventor for great machines of war. What war? I don't know, but Moth said that it was the war, and then immediately followed up their post by saying Vince wanders around the ruins, so that's ominous. Anyways, while they are very sweet on the outside, the inside is a mess of regret and guilt for their hand in the destruction of mankind. Or, you know, whatever the war did. Damn, I really want more lore out of you, Moth. I want to know what the war is. Tell me about the war. Anywho, I am always down for the concept of a big, scary war man with a lot of regret for their scary war days, and while I didn't realize I have bonus points to spare for this until I saw Vince here, you get bonus points if that guy just so happens to wear adorable clothing. In an alternate timeline where I was more comfortable wearing cute shit, this would be a fit on my body as soon as possible because it is just too good. Also, I love the implication that he has lost a lot of stuff in the war, what with the robo-legs and the missing arm. And I also like his big nose. It's just good stuff. Thank you, Moth, for Vince. Next, we have Isolde by Baby Bun, who made this amazing art. Obviously, all the art here is amazing. I'm not trying to compare here, but this was one of the few where I did not think, oh, I love their style, or oh, they're so talented. I thought, why does my art not look like this? But the character design is what we are really supposed to be talking about, so let's do so. Isolde here is a little bastard who sells fantasy junk to people and will pretty much use any means necessary to swindle the gold from their customers' pockets. She also happens to have a tiny cutie patootie brother figure who helps collect junk for her to upsell to the general public. I've already discussed on my channel how I love a good character that's cutesy but is actually evil, and while Isolde doesn't necessarily strike me as evil, her chaotic energy is close enough for me to adore this little freak. Also, this color scheme is just gorgeous. A treat for mine eyes, truly. This is just a wonderful character. Thank you so much again to Baby Bun for Isolde here. The next and, unfortunately, final little Scrimblo here is Atlas's Rika. Different Atlas from the previously mentioned Atlas. Guess it's just that cool of a name, everybody wants it. Kind of funny you both made little snaky-tailed goobers, though. Anyways, Rika here is an opossum. They are very tall for an opossum, but very short for a people, and while they are outwardly charismatic, they are actually a nervous wreck. I can relate there. To only that second part. I'm actually quite short for an opossum. With Rika here, I could cop out and say, look at her, do I even need to explain why I'm obsessed? But that would be disrespectful to Atlas, so I will explain a bit. The outfit, hilariously stupid, but you made it work. Amazing. The little soda tab earring, I'm living for it. The fact that it is an opossum, obviously perfect for a little trash vendor, and I love opossums, so I have so much opossum bias. The details of the scrunchy whiskers and tail to make them look extra scrappy. In love. The color choices. Chef's kiss. I also just love Atlas's style. Like, the sharp, angular shapes mixed with the nice, chunky pixel brush is something I wish way more people did because this just looks so good. In the wise words of me from a month ago, they are everything to me. Thank you, Atlas, for Rika. You know, why not show even more art from you guys, eh? Who's gonna stop me? You? Well, you can't, because you're in the future. Anyways, I wanted to show you all a few pieces of fan art. First, we've got this piece from Heptagon over on Bluesky. Love that name. Once again, one of y'all have drawn me. Am I just that beautiful? I mean, I'm glad to be your muse, but, like, I have other things. Seriously, though, I love how angular your style is. I'm so pointy. Pointier than I could ever really aspire to be in real life. It's a shame, honestly. But at least with this art, I can imagine a better world. The other piece I wanted to show off to you is from Cobalt here on YouTube. They drew some OCs of mine that I now feel guilty for kind of reducing to a comic series only within the universe of one of my comics, because this art is cool as hell. I love that they really push how gay Surge and Entropy are for each other, and even somehow deduced that this is their exact vibe. Links to both artists shall be in the description, though I will say that for Cobalt, they don't seem to be an active poster on YouTube, and I was unable to find any other associated links. Cobalt, if you see this part and want people led in a direction other than your YouTube channel, leave a comment and let me know so I can get that fixed for you. Thank you. And that's all I've got for now. Once again, thank you to everybody for your participation. This was super fun for me, and I can really only hope that this was super fun for you too. To be honest, when I used to daydream what being even a somewhat popular internet artist would look like, the only two things I tended to wish for was collabs with artists I like and getting to issue community challenges like this. So the fact that I've officially achieved one of my big art dreams is actually super cool. I definitely hope to do more in the future, both for videos and just for funsies, and like I said earlier, all of them shall be far more organized. Speaking of, if you have other ideas for what another community-wide challenge or project could be, let me know. I'd love to hear about what you guys are interested in doing in addition to seeing. One more thing before I shush. This is, officially, the last time I will be commenting, posting, or speaking of this, because I have already commented, posted, and spoke about this a lot. Before you start commenting to ask me what happened to the other Google form-based thingy, the one where I will do redesigns of your old characters, that's still happening. I closed the form early because you guys were basically too excited about it, and it stopped being able to accept new responses. I am sorry to those that wanted to get in and could not, but there's not really much I can do about it now. I am still continuing with the original idea of the video, picking from the 818 responses I did get. And I have it set for the end of April right now because I want to redesign lots of your guys' stuff, and that takes time. That might be subject to change, and if it does, I will post about that, but other than that, from this point forward, every time I see someone ask about it, I will boo you. You will get booed. I'm only kind of kidding, but yes, it will still happen. I just have not had the time to make it happen yet. Alright, I'll let you go now. Thank you again for watching. If you want to support me, please consider subscribing and or sharing my videos. And again, if you want to support any of the artists I showed off in the video, links are in the description. Please spread the love. Get some fresh air, drink some water, and, of course, most importantly, remember that you matter. Bye! This funky little guy is self-built. Fuck. This funky little guy is a self-bits. Oh my god, I can't talk. Oh my god. Okay, hold on.